2024, we are living in poverty now. Children are going hungry. They were back then, but they could knock on this door and the children could be fed. Women fleeing domestic violence could be helped with their family.
Hi, my name is Sylvia, and this is another episode of UNHidden Communities. Today we've got Ellen. Ellen, you're the owner and the landlord of the Walsall Hub in Walsall Centre, right? So this used to be Salvation Army Church, right? So what brought you to this building?
What brought us to the building was we were originally a training centre, and my husband Kevin saw the building derelict. It had been derelict for 4 years, and he had a view to use the building as our training centre. Okay. We were converting it on the top floor, 8 offices to be rented separately, and we were just going to be a basic construction company. On completing the building, things dramatically changed. Okay. We've had a lot of communities that have knocked on the door, that have wanted to come and work in here. And it's kind of changed. The history of what we were doing has changed. After 11 years, we decided to give up our company and open the door to communities that are the heart of this building. This is history repeating itself from when it was built in 1902 to 2024 today, and you being one of those people. That have brought a lot in. So there's a lot of changes happening for us, but they're not actually a change for the building.
So what was the building when it was first built? What was the purpose of the building?
So it was a barracks. So it was the church. It was built for the school. There was 2 buildings in Walsall. One at the top of town, which was more where they slept, kitchens, etc. And this was the other part that was built in 1902. William Booth, the founder, literally lived a street away from here. So his passions were quite high for here.
So what was his vision? Do you know what he wanted for the building to be?
So the vision was, there was the soup kitchen, it was the salvage for people to come for help. Okay. But it was run like an army barracks. So it's not like an army that we would see. This isn't an army of change in communities. Okay. So people come into the door like they do now to us was what they would have to be dealt with back then. So there was poverty. In 2024, we are living in poverty now. Children are going hungry. They were back then, but they could knock on this door and the children could be fed. Women fleeing domestic violence could be helped with their family, even if it was just a short time of clothes for the children, coats, a food package, somebody to talk to. Women fleeing marriages then were not like today. It wasn't as easy. So they wanted the church kind of feel and the religious aspect, but what he didn't want was things like christenings and things like that. He wasn't about that. He wanted the point of the religion, but he wanted to help people. So it was a little bit different to your normal church in a way, I would say.
So how does, obviously we started recording these episodes, this series about the domestic abuse, right? So how crazy is it that you ended up in this building and we are having the conversation about domestic abuse right now?
I just find it amazing. I find that I have people walking through the door and history is repeating itself for whatever calling it is, for whatever reason you're here today, whatever reason you were brought to this building. there is a reason for this, and there has to be, because you are making changes. So you are making changes that they made. So your voice is echoing in the whole building. It's showing in the building. Not all women can open up about domestic violence. Not all people realise that it's not just a physical part. When you run your groups here with families and children are in the school that's bringing that alive. You have a room full of women. One day, one of those women might turn around and say to you, "Can I speak to you?"
And it's hopefully not, because like Jade was saying, it's 1 in 4 women struggle with domestic abuse. So we don't even know when we're sitting in the room with someone, right?
When is that day that that person can open up to you? When can they feel that this is a safe place? So if you have 20 women in that room, on average, 2 of those women sitting in that room, well, not even more, so 1 in 4, 5 women sitting there, potentially, you know, they've escaped for that short amount of time, the home and their children, and you've given them a safe place, and eventually that was going to build up, that they will start opening up to you, you know, which is also a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's such a meaningful change you're making, because what would happen to this building if you didn't take it over?
So when we had the building, and it was just going to be training, and that lasted for 2 months of us being in.
Yeah, but if you didn't buy this building, what would happen to it?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to come to. So it was going to be a HMO. YMCA next door were not interested. It could have just been anything, really. I mean, it was just going to be a training centre and offices. It's not.
It could have been a coffee shop if someone else bought it.
It could have been a Weatherspoons. It could have been anything. It could have been a new police station. It could have been something with the college. But it's not. It's a hub of communities. It will naturally fill with good people, and it already is, isn't it, really? And like I said the other day, these are communities in here that are already making changes. They're not talking about it. They're coming in here and they are doing it. And we need people to come into this building and almost shadow and reflect this in the whole of our town and other towns out there, just to show how you can be, you know.
Because you've managed to build a really interesting community here, isn't it? You've got you've got businesses coming here, you've got community organizations coming here, you've got training departments
We've even got the church aspect with the religion, yoga, meditation. We have therapy where people come, you know, schools. You know,
you had half term as well,
half clubs, you know, and I want these people to come and knock on my door and almost be like the Salvation. Can you help us? Can we come into the building? Can we make a difference to people out there? We haven't got an army barracks, as in we haven't got a colonel, lieutenant, but yes, I have, because I've got these community leaders that are coming in and being those people that are making changes. We've got no citizens' advice in Warsaw, but we have got people that will come in and volunteer and help people here. That's, you know, that's not for profit. That is to make a difference in the community. Where is this being reflected in our town, other than what's happening in here with people coming in now?
Yeah, that's so interesting, yeah.
And that's not somebody saying, what kind of funding can I get for it? And when I get that money, I will. No, that's somebody knocking on the door saying, coming in, get yourself an office and help now. That's not waiting for money. That is, and you know, the money thing comes and it is coming, you know, but I'm a value person and I want to see a difference out there. And nothing warms me better than to know that today's made a difference.
That's awesome. So like imagine, because obviously you're a privately owned business, right? With obviously enormous social values, right? So imagine if there were more businesses like yourself.
Yeah.
What difference would how would that reflect in Warsaw? Like if there were other local businesses with strong social values, which is like even something as small as getting a donation of pumpkins, for example.
Absolutely.
Or like a donation of tea and coffee, and we managed to get tea and coffees from Tesco's before, or Asda, for example, right? Yeah. So imagine if like local, but surprisingly, our office is run. So there's a Polish shop just on the other road, and we reached out to the Polish shop a few times, asking if we can get some donations of tea, coffee, biscuits, and whatnot, and we never received anything. Right, but then imagine, and it's not aiming at obviously anyone of specifically, but what I'm thinking, imagine if every shop or every business on high street implemented social values. And I'm not saying because you are giving a lot, I think, right? But even small, something like pick up litter outside your own shop, or something. How would it affect also?
I just think that I get that, but people like to follow examples. As humans, we follow a trend, and if people see something happening or there's a queue, very Britishly, they will go and join that queue. If there's a new craze on TikTok, you've never seen it before, but because you've been told that's what you do, everybody starts copying that. So that could happen with values. So if that starts with me brushing outside, making sure my windows are clean, then the guy over the road says, oh, well, if they're doing that, then I need to do that. And then the high street becomes cleaner, tidier. The values of your business should be, you do not just take out of the pot, you have to give something back. And if you give it back, it comes back to you. If you smile at somebody, they will smile back at you. If you yawn, the person next to you yawns. We are humans and we are contagious. So at the moment, we're going through a phase of people are watching bad behaviour and ripple effecting it. Turn it the other way. Turn the coin. Just because others are doing bad things doesn't mean you have to follow that. Make that change and make a difference in somebody else's day, you know. And yeah, small businesses, don't stand on the high street and expect people to come to your door when you're not looking at that small area around you, because you're not going to win, are you? You know, the big businesses are winning, the small guys aren't, but it's time to fight back on the high street and help that community, because your customers are the community.
Yeah.
You help your community, they're coming back into your shop.
Yeah.
And it works that way then. That's what I believe anyway. It's just basic.
Yeah, I think it's about building that relationship between small businesses and the community, isn't it? So that we can understand it's a mutual relationship. Yeah. Because it's like sometimes businesses come to take, or people feel like they are taking something out of me, or they just want my money and things like that. But actually, you know, it could be a relationship where you can just even go for a chat.
Absolutely.
You know, like we don't talk. We've got the express checkouts at the moment. We don't even talk to the person at the checkout, do we?
They're taking out our social skills, aren't they? COVID's got a lot to answer for, where they locked us in and then suddenly people stayed that way. But I do think that things are changing. We very much are getting interest from people, where we had a lady come and she said, she came into the building, loved the building. She says, I'm so sick of working from home. I don't see anybody. I have a Teams meeting. It's nothing. And she come into the building, she goes, I just need to be in this building. Even if you put me in the corridor, I need to be here. I need to feel this community of people. And if we can achieve this in one small building in Warsaw, and how many buildings have we got in Warsaw? We could change things, couldn't we, really? We really could.
So what if you could, like, what would be your message add to social other businesses in Warsaw, small businesses? What would be your message for them?
I think if you can financially not just think about the pot of gold and the money and realise that the rainbow is the journey and that you must follow that and just think of your community and your people being that. And when you follow that rainbow, you'll get your own pot of gold at the end of it. Because November last year, we decided to close our business, not draw a wage for a year, and just be here. We are 12 months nearly into it, and we are full. We are brimming with good people. You know, we are saying now to people, oh, I can't quite get you in, I can't. People have followed people. People followed the smile, people followed the yawn, people followed the good communities that have come here. If you want that in your business, just do that, just go for that. You know, I don't know, you're on a market stall, if you're sitting behind looking like this down at the thing, people walking by you, stand up, hi, good morning, how are you? Oh, your daughter's lovely, yeah, blah, 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 have you had a good day? Yeah. Oh, what cakes have you got? Oh, can I have one of those then? You then suddenly, you've got customers who then go home, will go there next week, lovely guy, speak, engage with people. We don't want to just be going to Tesco, or you think we want communities, don't we? We want to go back to, we used to go to greengrocers, butchers, and we used to have the weekend shopping. Now we go to Tesco and nobody talks to anybody. The most engaging you get is unexpected item in the bagging area, and that's the most conversation that you get. Unless, or the security tag goes off and suddenly, you know, they run after you. That's not real world.
No.
That's not how we want our children to be. We want our children to talk to people, to know people. I could walk into a town 20 years ago and know so many people. I don't know anybody anymore. And I think that's what we need. We need this community spirit back in our town. Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah. And to create that space where people want to even come.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a lot of good cities. We've got a lot of lovely villages in the UK that can be given examples to others. If the government want to change a town, then go to a town that is succeeding, that has got community values, and see that, and get them to come into your town. Make that difference in your town. Send your Warsaw councils to these villages to see, how are you making it work? What can I take back? Don't sit around a boardroom talking about what you can do and then go away and leave it. There's a lot of examples out there, isn't there? There is absolutely loads and loads and loads. If I go to Lichfield, which isn't far away, I could be on a different planet to coming into Warsaw, you know, so yeah.
That's such an interesting message that you're sending out there to the councillors, and yeah.
But they are the people that we give our money to make decisions for us. We're relying on them. And if they can't make those changes for us, who can we ask?
Yeah, because I don't think it can be done alone. I think we need, especially people need to be guided, right? Told how to do it, yeah.
They do need to be guided. Families need assistance. You know, you've got your core values schools that see these children in there, and communities. You know, I think there's a lot of going back to basics for a while. Yeah. I'm excited by, I've seen so many communities that I never knew existed before we had this. And I'm like, why don't they know? Yeah. Why?
Yeah, it's that's something that we struggle with the most actually, is the information, because I'm the same as you. Like, until I started running my community organization, I didn't know how much actually is there out there, because like no one talks about it. There's no information, is not there.
Almost like a secret circle.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be, should it really?
Yeah.
There's enough out there. I think the biggest thing we've got in communities is getting into schools as well. You know, you've got to get past that gatekeeper. But they could really enrich our future generations here. And councils and that could lead that way, couldn't they, really? You know.
Yeah, there was like, I was talking to someone, interestingly, obviously it's off topic, but do you remember that program Benefit Street?
Yes.
So apparently there was a primary school on that road that was rated, I think, either requires improvements or inadequate. And then after the program, they did a lot of work with the community, and now they are rated outstanding.
Because the pressure was on, and you know the eyes were all on them.
But how important was it for them to then build that relationship with the community to improve the school?
Yeah.
So it's like works together, doesn't it? Like if you work with children, you can, yeah, but then at the same time, let's work with the family rather than just the child at school. Because like if you, so for example, my personal example, like when I was struggling with losing weight, right? I remember my son was being taught the proper ways at school and the primary school and nursery to eat fruit, vegetables and things like that. And then when I was struggling with weight, I said to my son, do you want, like we were sitting down to watch a movie and I was like, do you want a donut? And he goes, no, I want a carrot. So here's we sitting on the sofa watching Netflix. I'm stuffing my face with the donut. He's eating a carrot. And he looked at me and he goes, oh, I think I made a mistake. And I was like, no, child, I'm the one making the mistake.
Yeah.
You know, but if we don't work with the community together, with the parents, with the adults, and with the children, I think children can be taught something at school, but if they go back to the family home, that's not being addressed, it's gonna come back, isn't it?
Yeah. I think WHG are doing a lot with families, an extreme amount. From cooking, because people have lost the values just to even cook, haven't they? So they've got such a good strategy to help their tenants and their, you know, the social housing side, and I'm quite gobsmacked at the things they've done.
So now imagine if, because obviously WHG is aiming at the tenants, right? Imagine if values like that were replicated in work environments.
Absolutely.
Something like that, where we can just work together with the employers and local businesses. That's why, like, when we've got the business networking event, because you started hosting those as well, isn't it? So this is about helping other employers to think about social values, because you've got a huge building, and so like WHG is considering your building to host those lessons, isn't it?
Yeah, they've booked a couple.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So you've got the space, right, that where organization can come and provide services. Other businesses can provide other things.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Really?
Like even refreshments for meetings or something else, or maybe skills, or maybe administration skills and things like that, right? So every business can donate something.
Definitely.
And help in a different way, or just provide services like that for the employees.
Yeah, that is true. But then maybe that could come down to local councils, governments, where there is a certain element of a tax where a certain percent of that goes into that community, and there's more of a pot where it's more accessible, because funding, unless you've got the knowledge of applying, etc., you know, you've literally got to go armed with an education to get the funding, haven't you? It's not as easy as people think. But if there is a pot of money there, that it's community, hub-based, real people, maybe that should be a thing, you know, where people can get the help to do this. I just find it's very hard, and it's the same circles that are getting the same things. And then if you're going to be doing the same things and you're giving the same people,
There's
there's nothing going to change. You know, nothing will change in the community then. So if you want to make change, you start bringing in different people, start bringing in different values. We've got so many different cultures in Warsaw, you know, embrace them when they come through the door. And yeah. But that would be such a good idea, actually, to give a certain percentage, wouldn't it? I would be happy as a business owner.
Yeah, right?
I would feel enriched to think, okay, so even if it was 5% or a percentage or 1%, you know, because not everybody's earning millions, are they? You know, but you know, you go into Wilco, don't you? It's not Wilco anymore. Would you like to donate? Just yes or no, yes or no. Let's do it for businesses. Do you want to donate to a local charity? And then you decide, don't you? You know. But yeah, that's definitely food for thought, that is, isn't it?
Interesting, yeah. Okay, well, so that's awesome. Thanks so much for that, Ellen. I really, I really was obviously coming from an aspect of this is the domestic abuse / hub in the past, and now coming back to spreading that positive word, I suppose, about the community importance out there for different. So with domestic abuse hat on, do you think, or are you aware of any centers that are there available now for people who are in that situation? Because obviously this used to be it years ago. Are you aware of anything now?
I genuinely do not know. I genuinely don't. I know further up the road, which is still on your green lane, there used to be apartments for women, refuge. I don't know if it's still there. Kevin, who is the other owner, my husband, again, he's happy to speak about it, but he was brought up in an abusive family unit with his mother beaten. They used to have to flee in the night, sleep in cars, walk around supermarkets of an evening, etc. She could never escape back then. Okay. So I genuinely don't know. But I would like this information to come to the hub, and I would like even a board. If somebody was to knock this door again, where can they go? You know, because that is really important. I would like it to feel like a safe place that somebody could, if they needed, you know.
That's a good idea. Like, so for example, with the board, so for example, when you walk around town and you go shops, doctors and whatnot, do you see any message out there? If you're a victim of a domestic abuse, reach out here?
Sometimes you'll see it in the toilets, in women's toilets, and I'm not sure if Tesco and Warsaw do it, but I know Lichfield do. But that's something we could consider in our toilets as well here, because we do have a lot of women come through, don't we? Oh, yeah. You know, and we're very fully aware of the trolley that you put there. And that gets used quite a lot.
Yeah, it is. Just for the record, it's we've put a little cabinet shelf in the toilets, in the ladies' toilets, with sanitary pads and wipes and things like that, isn't it?
And they get heavily used. We top those up. You know, I have put deodorants and things in, and they do go. But I am glad they go, because somebody needed those. Yeah, I felt the same, you know, I don't feel anybody stealing because just for the sake of it. There's an actual need out there, isn't there? So again, that would be a lovely thing for somebody to contribute to the hub, to make sure that that ladies that go in there, you know, we could put something in there, couldn't we? It's in a privacy that maybe in our communal area, if women are seen to read all that, they might feel not quite right. But yeah, maybe in our toilets we could do a little bit of something.
And I think that would be a good message, maybe add there as well, to maybe make the information more available. So I think it would be really awesome to get a plug or something like that on the hub, isn't it? That with the sign where this used to be a place, but now you can reach out here and there. So And I think even like buses and toilets and shops, I don't think that there is enough. Like, I don't know if there is enough message to say, like, if you are a victim, reach out here. Because sometimes you would need to Google it, isn't it? And sometimes if you are in an abusive relationship, might not be able to do it, isn't it?
But in a domestic, that situation, if you go out shopping or you're out, we tend to need the toilet. So it should be rolled out nationally, shouldn't it? That if a woman goes to a toilet, that there is something there that we can find that information out. Or even somewhere where there's a pen and a piece of paper, maybe, that they can just leave a message, because they can't go in a toilet and phone if they're scared. But a message could be written, couldn't it, as well? But maybe that's kind of given me food for thought, that I would actually really like to do that in our toilet. And then let's put it out there. Let's send it to businesses and say, this is what we've done. These are the improvements that we're making. Let's just make this normal. That it is in a ladies' toilets where they're kind of almost safe than anyone. It's kind of that, a safe haven is a toilet. How sad is that, really?
Isn't it?
How sad would you feel as a woman to think that's the only place you can escape, and there is something there? Watch this space. You give me so much food for thought.
Awesome. Thanks, Ellen, for coming and talking about your hub. I'm really excited. Obviously, we are a tenant here, so I am a bit biased, but it is amazing space. Yeah, I love my beautiful office. It's gorgeous.
Best office.
Right. Thanks so much, Ellen, for your time, and thanks for listening. And see you next time.